can the person you're voting for beat Donald Trump? That's the first question. The second one is, can they help us win back the Senate? If Bernie is a friend, is a nominee of our party, every Democrat in America, up and down the ticket, blue states, red states, purple states, every one of them in those competitive districts, every Democrat will have to carry the label that Senator Sanders has chosen for himself. Not me, he's chosen it. Democratic Socialist.
Joe Biden continuing to go after Bernie Sanders today on the label of socialism. An NBC Wall Street Journal poll out this week shows 53% of registered voters have a negative view of socialism. So will this be a problem for the Democrats? Let's bring in Nina Turner, the national co-chair of the Bernie Sanders campaign. I see you laughing because you know that that is the question coming out of that intro. So is it a problem?
No. I mean, we have to break it down. The senator has done that many times. And, you know, since we are in Black History Month, I think it's very apropos to bring up the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who talked about the fact that we have socialism for the rich or for the wealthy, and we got rugged individualism for the poor. Really, what does democratic socialism mean? It's government of, for, and by the people, putting the focus on the people, Medicare for all, canceling student debt, canceling medical debt, ensuring that people have the opportunity to live a good life, that their material conditions are changed. It is not changing in this country right now. CEOs enjoyed a 900% wage increase, while workers barely 5.5%. So what exactly does that word mean? And it really is unfortunate that the vice president is using that as a boogeyman attempt. Voters being asked in a certain poll, who do you believe is best to go up against President Trump? And Senator Bernie Sanders tops those polls each and every time.
And yet he will not be the first or the last to use it as a boogeyman. Last night on stage, Senator Sanders was asked about how this relates to the concept of electability. Let's take a listen.
Sure. Because Donald Trump lies all the time. Doesn't matter what Donald Trump says. It's a sad state of affairs. It really is. People say terrible things about Joe. He has ugly, disgusting things about Elizabeth, about Amy, about anybody else who is up here. But I think, George, that at the end of the day, the way we defeat Donald Trump, and everybody up here, by the way, is united. No matter who wins this damn thing, we're all going to stand together to defeat Donald Trump.
So if we get to a 2020 general election, yes, and it is a Sanders-Trump showdown, this is inevitably a question that Donald Trump will raise, right? This question of socialism. Is the pushback, is the defense from a Democratic nominee, Sanders, that Donald Trump lies about everything so you can't listen to him, or is the defense a full-throated defense of his economic policy?
It's both and. The senator is absolutely correct. Any of the Democratic candidates up there, we know what the president is going to do. He is going to go after them and go after them hard. But this is really about Senator Sanders he has a true vision for this country and has proven himself decade after decade to be the person that stands on the side of the working class from all backgrounds in this country. We can't say the same thing about President Donald Trump. He ran on a faux populism that attracted people all across this country who were hurting. Even in my home state of Ohio, people who were hurting because of bad trade deals, of which Senator Sanders voted against the war, did not vote to give this president even more money for the military budget. So when President Trump has to face a true progressive champion, it really is going to be on and popping. So again, going back to what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, he said, call it what you want, call it democratic socialism, or, and I'm paraphrasing, call it a change in direction of this country in terms of whose side are you really on. And Senator Sanders is on the side of the everyday people. President Trump is on the side of his multimillionaire and billionaire friends. Give you one example, Alicia, that same $1.6 trillion tax break that he gave to the wealthiest people in this country, he could have taken that same amount of money and canceled all the student debt in this country. What would that do to lift people in this country who are saddled with that debt just because they went to college? So Senator Bernie Sanders has the vision, he has the integrity, and people trust him. He is the one to go head-to-head with President Trump because his past, his present, and his future in terms of the vision that he has is one that can win.
When you look at Iowa, we were promised epic turnout, and the turnout more closely mirrored the close turnout we saw in 2016. Does that make you nervous at all?
No, because we still have time. We got to drive people out. And part
what
of
do you
the
think
way
drives people out?
knowing that politicians not going to BS them, and I'm not talking about Bernie Sanders, be really honest about what is happening to them in their lives right now and what are you going to do. Not middle of the way, kind of this can't happen. No, we need people who are going to dream big and who also are going to put the entire force and weight of the presidency behind changing their lives. Now, one group did increase from 2008, Alicia, and that was our young adult voters, ages 17 to 29. They showed up at 24% higher than they even did in 2008. So that particular group did come out at a higher number. We got to keep going out there, pushing people and helping them to know that their voice matters, their vote matters, and we need them to be in it to win it.
There is an element of a recent NBC Wall Street Journal national poll that I want to get your take on. Joe Biden has nearly double the support of black voters that Senator Sanders has. How do you change those numbers?
We're doing it. I mean, going back to Iowa again, Senator Sanders won the most diverse coalition of voters, even though Iowa is a very white state, granted. But there are black people there are brown people there are people from other religions, Muslims. Senator Sanders took, for example, a Muslim caucus, 99%. Young people, black people, brown people. That is an example of what he is able to do all across this country. And another point I want to make, African-American community cannot continue to be the firewall for Vice President Biden. In other words, every candidate, whether it's Vice President Biden, my senator, or other people, have to earn the black vote. And there is no other ethnic group or racial group in this country where people call them their firewall. So you got to earn the vote. And Senator Sanders has been doing that consistently across this country and in South Carolina and other places. So we're working very hard to earn the vote and to win over the African-American community.
All right, Nina Turner, national co-chair for the Bernie Sanders campaign. Thank you so much for being here with us. Iowa and New Hampshire usually jumpstart the race for the nomination and winnow the field. But after the communications meltdown in Iowa, the stakes may be even higher in this week's primary. We'll talk about who needs a big performance on Tuesday.